Hello, and welcome back to Wildsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please have confetti. Sorry, being silly. Okay, so today we're having a Pride video. I didn't know this was a thing, but I've been seeing videos all over the place with artists making things in the rainbow to celebrate how we're all different and how that's fabulous about us humans. So I thought I would make a whole bunch of paper cuts in the colors of the rainbow to talk about how important and truly wonderful it is that we are all different. So I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, how do you know it's good that we're all different? I mean, one of the things that makes tribes in human culture, that allows us to stick together through thick and thin and all that kind of stuff, is the fact that we're somehow similar. This is us and that's them, whoever them is. Whoever us is, maybe it's, I'm guessing that in times of old, us was, based on some pretty strong things about what it is to be human, like we're all from the same place, we have the same skill set. Like when we were hunters, we humans were hunters and gatherers. We all knew how to hunt mammoths in the same way, or something like that. And there was tribal wisdom about what food to eat and what food not to eat. And so all that stuff was pretty important. Especially on the stuff not to eat. It helped us know what's poison and what's good for us. And so on some level, being the same like that, forming a tribe of, this is our wisdom and this is our set of rules that we go by. On some level, that's crucial. It's very important that we agree on a bunch of stuff. And then, as human culture, as civilization, as society has moved on, I don't know, maybe which mammoth to hunt and which tiger to run away with from all gets to be kind of, I don't know, like pretty solid memories. Or maybe we don't live in a section of the world that has an awful lot of tigers, so maybe that's not important information for my tribe. Anyway, it gets to the point where without differences, we end up dying out. Like we stop learning things, and genetically speaking, if you keep reading, I read this interesting thing. If you keep inbreeding, marrying your cousins and having babies with your cousins, it makes the genetic code not only find the strengths in that tribe and make them stronger, but it also helps that genetic group find the weaknesses and magnify those too. So that's a bad thing. Things like in some of the great royal houses in Europe, they were very interested. This is probably 500 years ago, 300 years ago. They were so interested in having people, the royalty, marry amongst their own to keep the line pure, that they ended up with, which Edward was that? Edward the Fifth or something? I don't know. It was Queen Elizabeth's the first half brother. That Edward, the son of Edward the Henry VIII, and he ended up having hemophilia because the genetics of his family had kept kind of circling back on each other, and that's a bad thing. There's also ta-da! There is paper cut number red. I also read an interesting thing about Rh negative and positive, that's also a thing that's genetically passed on. And that in cultures where having Rh negative blood is bad because, oh right, it kills the babies. So if an Rh negative mom marries an Rh, has children with an Rh negative man, then the kid has a chance of being also Rh positive, having the whatever the Rh thing is. But the mom's blood is thinking, oh, having the Rh factor is a bad thing. So the mom's blood kind of fights that. I once got pregnant and they gave me a shot right away. I had a miscarriage. And they gave me a shot right away because even on only the first pregnancy, because sometimes we get pregnant and we don't know about that. Anyway, the chance that a mother's blood, Rh negative blood, will attack an Rh positive baby is very strong, and it grows throughout different pregnancies. So the first pregnancy, there's some risk. Second pregnancy, there's more risk. I never knew that stuff, and I've known that I had Rh negative blood my whole life. So if you know and you happen to live in modern times, that's not such a big risk because doctors know that they have to give us the shot, which somehow nullifies the effect. But even 100 years ago, we didn't have that shot. So every time an Rh negative mom had a baby, it upped her a positive baby, it upped her potential that her blood would be mad at the baby for having that. And infant death was a much bigger risk. So, so this is, sorry, long digression, but this is an important reason why breeding outside the family is a good idea, because more positive babies are born and survive. Anyway, I never knew that, but that's another reason why having differences is a good thing. And my favorite example is, what if we all wanted to be bakers? What if everybody on earth wanted to sit in their studio cutting paper cuts? How, if we were all cutting paper cuts, who would do the baking? Who would run the grocery stores? Who would build the cars? Who would build my house? Who would, like, nobody would want to do any of those things. Nobody would be particularly good at any of those things. And so we would build cars that fall apart even faster than they do, and houses that fall apart even faster than they do. And yeah, so that would be a bad thing. I mean, yeah. So, so we need to be different. And when it comes to religion, there's that amazing, I wish I'd looked it up, that wonderful quote by Rumi about how there are many ways to kneel and kiss the ground. And I think the first part of that quote was something about we all need to do the thing that makes our heartbeat strong. So farmers should who want to farm should be the farmers, and bakers who want to bake should be the bakers, and car engineers who want to work with cars all day long should be doing that, because I would be miserable out in the field, and I would not build particularly good cars. And I mean, necessarily, I don't know, maybe I could do that. Ta-da! We have orange. So it's really important that we're all different, and I know that Pride Month is specifically about who we choose to love and, well, choose, or just who we love, and how we define ourselves. And I don't know, I mean, do the math. China is a wonderful example of, they had a rule that they did not like anybody to be different from heterosexuals who made a lot of babies. So the whole lifestyle of people who didn't want to have children for whatever set of reasons was kind of abhorred. And so they had a culture that said having children, having lots of children, is really important to them. And then I guess Mao in the 40s was kind of all about that. And then it worked, and they made, like 1 billion babies. And then their culture couldn't support it couldn't take the land mass that they had and grow the rice that they needed. And so their whole culture started faltering, because they weren't in a position, sort of emotionally or intellectually, to let people be who they need to be. And then that led to the one child policy in China, and that led to a whole set of circumstances I don't know, that brought a lot of joy to some of us, but also brought a lot of pain to some of us. Yeah, so maybe people just being who they are is really fine. Maybe people being, I don't know, whichever of the letters of LGBTQ, etc. Maybe it's just okay to be whoever you are and build family or not build family beyond the two of you in whatever way that, I don't know, floats your boat. Because population disasters aren't really such a great idea. So, economically speaking, I think we do better when the people who like to be farmers get to farm, and the people who like to build cars get to build cars, and the people who like to make rainbow paper cuts get to make rainbow paper cuts. And then I don't think we need to. I don't know. It's just okay. Like none of those things hurt other people. If you don't want to be gay, don't be gay. And if you want to be gay, what possible difference does it make to the people next door? I mean, in a lot of communities, there are husbands and wives who don't get along, like heterosexual or, in whatever the correct religion. Ta da! We have red, we have orange, we have yellow. So, in what we might call a normal neighborhood, there are husbands and wives who are heterosexual who don't get along, and they end up emotionally harming each other and physically harming each other. And maybe that's something we could have an opinion on, like how can we help those families either resolve their issues together or resolve their issues by maybe not being together. And maybe that's something as a community we could spend some time on. How can I support you being who it is you need to be? Rather than saying that just because they're heterosexual, they're doing marriage right. I personally know a fair amount of people who are not heterosexual, who are specifically homosexual, and they've been in relationships for years and years and years. And some of those people I knew at a time in my life when I had children myself, and some of those people I knew at a time in my life when I didn't have kids, and neither did they. And yeah, and a lot of those LGBTQ families had in my lifetime, I've known families with LGBTQ, that this is the way to say it, parents, and they were really successful, and their kids are amazing. And so that's really successful. So just being straight and, I don't know, Christian or something doesn't necessarily make a marriage successful. What else do I want to do? So it's fine if we're all different. I mean, on that level, it's really fine. LGBTQ people make great families sometimes. I mean, sometimes they don't. Sometimes LGBTQ people have every bit the number of marital issues that straight folk have. And again, maybe our place in the community is to say, oh, that's a bummer, how can I be supportive? Rather than, oh, the reason this is going badly for you is because of la la la, and being all judgy and, basically outside the relationship telling you what you're doing right and wrong. Maybe that's not quite the best idea. All right, we have lots of confetti going here. Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. You can build a rainbow, build a rainbow, build a rainbow too. Do you know, I learned that song when I was a kid. I think I was 14. And I know I was 14, come to think of it. And I was living with my folks in New York State. And they sent me away to sleepaway camp. I'm still in view, aren't I? Just checking the time. And the sleepaway camp was here in Maine and actually very close to where I live now. So, this is my philosophy. It's important to be who we need to be. And I think it's probably pretty important to go for a position of tolerance. Of course, we want people to be successful in their endeavors, whether that's marriage or business or whatever. Tricky cut. I can't talk. But yeah, tolerance is better. Let people be whoever they want to be. And, probably on one level, it's none of my business who you are, how you do your life. And the only thing that might make it my business is if there's something I could be or do or offer you that might be helpful to you, especially maybe when you're meeting a challenge. Then that could be sort of kind of my business. Like I could offer you a thing, not like you have to take it, but maybe there's some manner of blessing I could enact. But other than that, it isn't my business who other people want to be. It's just my business how great can I be? How helpful can I be? And the thing that comes up for me is I am more likely to be great making art than I am doing pretty much anything else. And if that's true for me, then maybe that's true for you too. So I definitely want to support you being and doing and having the things that's going to make you a better person. Because I guess I'd like that gift in return. I'd like you to support me being and doing and having what I want to do. So I will offer that accommodation to you too. La, 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 la. Red and yellow. Oops. Squish. Red and orange and yellow. And green and blue. And now purple. Very eager to see this. This is really pretty, isn't it? Maybe that's all I have to offer. Just pretty, pretty. My blessing to you is I really support you being who you need to be, who you want to be, especially if that blesses the rest of us. And yeah, so anything I can do that's inside my skill set, let me know and I can pass that on. And for now, ta-da, rainbow. Many blessings to all LGBTQ people, and many blessings to all people who really know that they're straight and or even are confused about whether they're straight or not. Many blessings to all of us. May we be happy and really, really good at expressing ourselves and our gifts. See you next time. Bye.